Yeah, thanks for the resumes, guys. Really appreciate that.
The only one I knew any background on was mine.
Yeah, I know. Hell, if I'd known that, we wouldn't have taken her on either.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up our last Hunger Games kids. Let's give a big welcome to Naomi.
You're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're no. You're in, then you're out. You're up, then you're down. You're wrong when it's right. It's black and it's white. We fight, we break up. We kiss, we make up. You really wanna stay alone.
Hey, how are you, girl?
Doing good.
You ready for this?
As ever I'll be.
Okay, so you kind of got a bit of a false start, really, because you hadn't applied, and we took somebody else on, and they decided to not continue after a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So it was like, quick, we need somebody else, and you popped into the place for us.
Yeah, that's right. So I was going through my gap year doing absolutely nothing. I remember the day I was just laying on my bed, watching a movie, and I get this call from my dad, and he's like, hey, do you want to move to Queensland and be mentored and make lots of money from property? And I was like, yeah, why not? So then this Kevin guy keeps calling me, telling me to get a voicemail and talking about this dip. I thought you were a man to start with. Actually, sorry, I did, this Dipner. Yeah, so I ended up going on holiday in Queensland and get a call saying, you got in the property games. I was like, oh, yes.
I think.
Yeah, so I went back home, did my 2 weeks of work and moved straight up.
So very good, and we dragged you on stage pretty much straight away. You went straight into an event.
Yeah, I was meant to be at Splendour in the Grass that weekend. Gave it up
I'm
for you.
glad you came here.
Me too.
So the first step, what's this all about?
First step. So this is while I was on holiday in Queensland just after I found out that I got in. And Kevin was like, we got to do a hero's journey with you because you're behind. So went into his office and we did the hero's journey. I guess most of you would know what that is. Yeah. So it's the hero's journey, pretty much every movie with like a superhero, hero guy. All the movies are got the same way, which is the circle you can see on the screen. And, you know, I was a bit behind the others. I came in like a month or two late.
You were 2 months behind.
Yeah, so I've got a picture there with Po's dad from Kung Fu Panda because Kevin gave me a character of Po because it's easier to go through the hero's journey if you're
got a character.
So I was Po. He still calls me Po. But yeah, pretty much we discussed, you know, who I was, where I was on the wheel, and what my why was. So who I was 19 in Tassie doing absolutely nothing. I had the call for greatness with the deal, and the refusal of the call, which was, you know, not really trying to get in too hard, but still doing as I was told and doing all the things I had to do. And then the why was a real struggle for me. I just couldn't figure out what my why was. And that was a big theme throughout this whole property games, like, what's your why? And I'm like, I don't know. I think just recently I realized that it doesn't have to be some massive, big why that you have to go towards. And my why, I discovered, is just because I can right now, and that's what I want to do. And I'll figure it out. But while I figure it out, I want to invest in property. So,
very good. Which you have. So you started off, I mean, yes, you missed out on, I think, the first event, but after that there you've been to all the subsequent events, and you started off looking for deals, building your team.
Yeah, so my first event was Bob Anderson's boot camp.
25% developers.
Yes,
It was the 25% developers.
Yeah,
yes.
and everyone was throwing around words like DA and splitter and frontage and all that stuff. I'm like, cool, didn't know what a DA was. I didn't know why frontage was important. Most houses have frontage. So I got into real estate investor, and I just started typing all those words in because that's what I knew, and that's what everyone was excited about. So sounded good to me. So I just looked them all up, and I was finding things, and I had no idea what I was really looking at. So I went to a few different people, calling up, and kind of learning, but still kind of relying on people to tell me a lot of the answers. And I think Kevin got sick of the calls, and he was like, right, you're coming in the office, we're going to have a chat, we're going to get you focused, we're going to, you know, get a direction, you're going to focus on that direction. So I went over to Kevin's office, and, you know, 10 minutes into the chat, we're still kind of chatting, and then all we really get to is, you know, we should focus on where you're living and maybe we should do some subdivisions. And then in walks Roy, walking in, and he
Abused me.
He did, because he didn't return his call or
That's
something.
right.
So we're like, oh, great, this is awesome, great contact to have in property. And we're chatting, we're like, oh, do you have any deals? Like trying to squeeze something out of him. And he had nothing. He was like, nah, can't think of a thing. And you get a cup of tea into the man, and you talk to him for about an hour, and he comes up with some pretty good stuff. So there's a deal that, he's a surveyor, so there's a deal he was doing. And the people that owned it had a divorce, didn't really like each other anymore, wanted to go their own ways, so they wanted to sell.
Why they had a divorce. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons, yes. So that's it on the screen. It's really pretty. You can see next door there's precedents in the street. They did the same thing, like a year before? Less than a year before. So the FISO was quite, I guess, easier to do when you've got the precedents like a couple metres away. And that's what it looked like. Keep pressing it.
Keep pressing.
Through. Okay, so those photos weren't as bad as it was. It was awful. We took people through with your boot camp.
We did.
Yep.
And we said you don't have to take your shoes off. It's already trashed.
Yeah. It was nasty, and it smelt really bad, and so I decided to move into it. Yep. You couldn't go into the bedrooms, though, because I wouldn't personally want to go into the bedrooms. So I just put my bed like a couple metres from the fridge and just lived next to the fridge.
In the kitchen?
In the kitchen.
You and your man.
Yes, my partner at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did a renovation, moved in Christmas Eve, like 10 o'clock at night, and got the renovation happening pretty much straight away. Now, we hadn't settled on the deal yet.
So you rented it beforehand?
No.
No, so we hadn't
Don't
settled
pay
on
rent on that one? No.
No, why would you? It's, yeah.
But you got access prior?
We did. It was meant to settle in December. It was meant to settle in
No, you
just before
settled.
Christmas.
You settled in April.
Yeah, but it was meant to settle in December, and it didn't. There was all these issues with the banks and the retention basin and all this stuff going on. So we were like, Kevin's like,
Doesn't know what a DA is, but knows what a retention basin is.
Had to learn.
What happened was the vendor actually, I said, will you guarantee that you believe you'll sort these problems out, Mr. Vendor, by December? And he said, I guarantee that. And I said, well, with your guarantee meaning something, if it doesn't, will my client be able to move in free of charge until you do? And he said, absolutely, because I know I'm going to be able to do that. And he didn't. So you lived there rent-free until April.
Yeah, we couldn't settle until April, just there's so many parties involved, all the banks on each side, and it got really messy. So that was good for me, because free rent, got to get the reno done as well. Don't know if he really knew how much of a improvement we were going to make, but the word was improvement. So I ripped all the carpet out, ripped all the bathrooms out.
We got some pictures of that?
I think we do, yeah. So it was actually cheaper. My dad's my JV partner, by the way, and we noticed that it was actually a lot cheaper for him to fly out from Tassie and do a lot of the demo stuff. So he gives me a call one day and he's like, right, my flight's booked for 2 days. I'm coming up, ripping out all the bathrooms. Have you got, your trades ready? And I was like, Dad, I'm living in this property. You're taking out my bathrooms. And so he did what he said, took out my bathrooms, had to find a plumber and a tiler and everything, and lived without toilets and showers for a while, which was really great experience. Want to do that again soon.
Yeah. Go and talk to Nadia.
Yeah, we'll trade stories. So this is my bathroom. They're my new blinds. It's a kitchen. And the old door was disgusting. It was completely broken. There's a study.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Did okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the personal growth through this period?
I think I was definitely holding myself back for a lot of it. I was very much in my comfort zone, very much no need to grow when you're in your comfort zone because you're there, you're good for the rest of your life. So May-ish, ended a 3-year relationship. My partner got a job in Mexico, decided he wanted to go to Mexico and do that. So we ended our relationship and I struggled for a really long time. This was a time that meant that I had to become independent and I had to kind of step up and I actually had to learn and grow and change. And I was really happy with who I was. I was like, I'm Naomi, like, I'm comfortable where I am. But so struggled for a while, and then we went to high res in Sydney, and Lisa, she can make the toughest person just melt in tears. And so I was like, Lisa, I'd really appreciate if you spent some time with me. And I was really nervous. I was shaking, actually, when we were sitting down, because I was like, I don't know what you're going to do to me. And yeah, she got right in there, and she messed around a bit. And I really appreciate it, because she kind of got to help me realize some of my blockages, what was stopping me personally and emotionally, mentally. And from there, I think that's kind of when this was my journey. And then Sydney, I was like, woo! And yeah, I think she really helped me.
What were some of those blockages?
Just a lot of my scripts and a lot of my, I guess, the way that I react to things and my mindset when when someone says a certain thing, you always, every time, always react the same way. Or when something happens to you, that's just what you do personally. And I had to break a few contracts. I don't know, have you guys done walking back in the past?
I've done it a bit,
yeah, I broke some contracts in my past, and that was a really big thing. And from there, I was just so excited to grow. I was like, oh, look at this new Naomi. I get called Naomi 2.0. And so, yeah, big change. And then more recently as well, I've been going through a lot of changes. I've decided that I'm just going to, if I want to do something and I feel like it's what I should do, I'm going to do it. So wanted to move to the Gold Coast. I went to the beach and I was like, this is awesome. So decided to move to the Gold Coast. Didn't like my job. Couldn't stand working there anymore. And I was like, it's not where I need to be. Just quit. And I feel awesome. I love it. I quit and I did a dance. And yeah.
So let's have a look at the figures on this deal.
So that's the subdivision costs. It was a bit more expensive than we thought, but not by much. We actually are going to be making more than we anticipated, even though the costs were a lot more, because the market was awesome. So that's my deal. That's the breakdown of the deal. So purchase for $550, did the reno and the subdivision for $260-ish. We've got the blocks under contract, one's unconditional, each is going for $285. Sold through your co-op?
No, we sold the blocks of land to the dark side, actually, for $285,000, but we refused to pay them any commission.
Okay.
So they didn't get their 30 grand rebate off you. And you were supposed to sell at $250 and we sold them for $285. Yeah.
Yeah, so the blocks next door, the ones that were in the picture before, they sold for a lot less a while ago. So
$260.
we were expecting a bit more than them, and then this is good. So.
Market caught you.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, so we got house values. Originally, we were meant to sell the house as well. We're just going to do it all, sell it, split our money, go our separate ways, do whatever we wanted. But it's going to work better for JB to have the house and be able to get the equity out.
And Naomi's
So he's going to pay you out.
Naomi's partner, she lives in the same street as Roy. Roy has done work in council for the last 40 years. She bakes him cakes. She validates his art.
I
She
baked
has
him a
got
cake.
this guy who's just saying, Naomi, you're now my daughter and I want to make you a godzillionaire.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He's been such a support since moving to Queensland, not just in property, I needed to mow my lawn. He's like, here, have a lawnmower. I'm like, he's just been awesome. Big support, and that's the big thing in team.
So that's the happy dance, huh?
Yeah, so a big thing that I learned.
This is Naomi 2.0.
I can do that.
You can.
Is that a happy dance?
Yes, and we're about to see Kevin do that as well.
Yes.
Kevin, so when we first got the contract on, I was in Melbourne doing work experience, and Kevin called me up. He's like, we got it under contract. I'm like, yeah. And I'm dancing around the kitchen. I'm like, Kevin, are you doing a happy dance? And he's like, no. Why would I do a happy dance? And I'm like, Kevin, I'm going to get you happy dancing. Because that was such an awesome achievement. Got a deal, got a contract. And, through each stage that you have a success, you need to celebrate it. And you need to, as Jason and Amy say, you need to, do your high five. And me personally, I did a dance. And I was trying to convince Kevin this whole time to do a dance. And do you think this deal's dance worthy, Kevin?
Really? Come on, Kevin!
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Thank you.
funny. But look at how the girl has changed.
Can you edit that out of camera, by the way?
So we got instructions when doing these presentations, and at the end it said before and after. I was like, haven't really changed physically, like haven't gone workout or anything. But I thought I'd put this one up, as embarrassing as it is. That's a screenshot of these videos that I sent to Kevin to get into the property games. I got told to send a video of who you are and show your personality. And so I rolled out of bed at 7 a.m. and I filmed it in three parts because I'm not technologically advantaged. And yeah, didn't smile once. I tried to get a screenshot of me smiling and I just couldn't. And it was shocking. And I don't know why you let me.
I thought you were smiling, but I realised later you probably had wind. So it was
Maybe.
fine. And after I saw the video, I showed it to Dipner and she said, and yeah, wow, that's pretty special.
I did
Shocking.
not.
Shocking. So I thought I'd put that up because I was, not really doing anything, not going anywhere, not smiling in my videos, not really showing who I was. And it was a bit of a facade, trying to be all professional, trying to impress this Kevin and Dipner. And
Who was a man?
There's a man.
who turns out to be a female.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a photo that my colleagues took the other day. And I just thought, I've changed so much, and just personally, I feel like I am Naomi 2.0, and I've done all this awesome stuff, and I got that deal and made a bunch of money on the way, and it's been an awesome journey.
We're talking about someone who's now $250,000 in cash richer. That's
Yeah.
not bad.
It's okay.
Well done, Dal. Well done. So what would you like to say to anyone here?
Do you happy dances? I mean, no, really, that girl has it right. If you go through your development or your renovation or whatever you do, and at the end, then you celebrate, you're not going to have an awesome experience like I did. And I think you need to have the awesome experience where you appreciate what you've done and the hard work you've put in and the growth that you've done. So I think, definitely happy dance it, all the way.
Happy dance all the way.
Happy dance.
Very good. Give her a big round of applause.
Good on you.